Okay, welcome everyone. We're back for our 5th Unity Healing Love Fest, and today we have special guest Jaime Goldstein, also known as Jaime Lee, on her page. And so those of you who've joined us before, just each Monday we've been getting together to just connect in light, connect in love, to maybe receive some new insights and energies and wisdom. And so we've just had a whole diverse foray of content that you guys are welcome to go back and listen to the replays. This has been a free offering, also open to donation if you'd like to share a little contribution which goes to the presenters. We're happy to receive that as well. I'm Jen Cunnings, and I was just kind of tapped on the shoulder to put these together when things started to really hit the fan and we were stuck at home. And I love collaborating and playing with others. And I've just had the most amazing opportunity to meet so many gifted healers and teachers and coaches of just a whole diverse array of offerings. So because of that, I thought, let's have some fun and let's spread some light and spread some love, most importantly, to within ourselves. And so that's really what this is about. And I had the opportunity to meet Jaime like just a couple months ago. We were doing a holographic sound healing weekend with Dr. Paul Hubbard, and we just connected. And I jokingly, I think, first said to you, like, how is it being in a body for you? Because you just don't really seem like you're, on this planet. So Jaime just has this really strong connection to the planets and the stars. And as a trained astrologer, she also just taps into her intuitive knowing. And I've had a reading with her, which was just so on point. I also gifted one to my husband just this week for his birthday, which was also very on point. And so I just thought it would be fun for Jaime to come on today and just share, like, kind of from that higher planetary astrological perspective, like what's going on, because we're seeing so much happen here on the earth, and what are those influences, and then whatever else Jaime wants to share. So I'll just share a little bit about Jaime. I'm reading off my bio here, but so Jaime's an intuitive astrologer, a lover of all things mystical, and deeply immersed in many forms of healing arts and divination. She's formally trained in Western astrology by the highly renowned astrologer and author Gary P. Catton. And she fell in love with this art and learned how to become a co-creator with the cosmos and utilize astrology as a roadmap to navigating life during her first Saturn return. She truly has a passion for connecting to the planets and stars by sitting under the night sky in meditation, allowing astrology to become a truly embodied practice. Jaime, a Pleiadian star being, loves to connect others to their cosmic essence. I just lost my place, but I paused there because I that's kind of why I really wanted to reach out to you, is just to kind of have some insight into kind of more my galactic origins, which is really enlightening. She feels passionately about living life as an earth sky woman with roots extended deep into the earth and branches extended up into the celestial realms. She has a close connection with the angelic realms and shares angelic messages through her sacred work. She shares astrology through offering natal chart readings, teaching astrology workshops, and leading women's moon circles. She loves sacred ceremony and facilitating planetary gong ceremonies with her moon and Venus gongs, which I have yet to experience, but I am very excited about when we can, get it together in person. She's an advanced practitioner of holographic sound healing and the healing art of the angelic realms. She's also a yoga and meditation instructor and the founder of the North Texas Center for Mindfulness. So you've been a busy lady.
It's all my Capricorn energy.
That's right. I can relate. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie, and she's going to share, like what I just talked about, in terms of kind of what's happening in the bigger picture in the stars. And then if you guys have questions based on some of the intel and wisdom that she's sharing, go ahead and put those in the chat, and then we'll pause for questions and moderation, and then we'll at the end kind of open it up for a Q&A as well. But if you have something that's on your mind, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and take it away, Jamie.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me here. And I want to honor the Saturn time thing. How much time do you want me to share?
I would just go with what you're guided to do.
Okay, because I want to make sure that you have time to, do your light language transmission. And so,
Well, I have us till the hour, and I only need like 5 minutes. So
okay, perfect.
If you feel guided, or if you only go 20 minutes, that's fine too. Just, whatever
Okay,
feels
beautiful.
appropriate. Yeah.
Because I want to also lead us through a meditation to connect to the planets within. And I'm just so grateful, Jennifer, that you invited me, because you're definitely a star being sister. I felt that connection right when we met. So I'm so excited that we're able to connect in this way. And thank you to everyone that's here. We have such an amazing turnout. I'm just kind of feeling into the energy of everybody being here. And it's such a beautiful energy that's come together. And you are all co-creators of this energy, everyone that's here. So thank you so much for being you and sharing your energy to create this magical experience. And so let's just drop in. I am a meditation teacher, and I love meditation. I think astrology is an embodied practice. So I just want to start with a short meditation to connect the earth with the sky. One of my favorite shamanic astrologers, Tammy Bronk, really talks about being an earth sky woman. So that it's, not only important to be connected to the earth above, or the earth above, it's all the same, as above, so below. The stars above, it's important to be connected to the earth below, because we are Mother Gaia, we are the earth. So this is a Taoist breathwork practice that bridges the celestial and the earth energies. So we'll go through the whole practice about 3 times. It just takes about a few minutes. So I invite you to find a comfortable seated posture where you can extend your spine up to the sky. Maybe closing your eyes to draw your attention inward. Just feeling your sit bones, your feet, the base of your body connected to the earth. Feeling your spine lifting up towards the sky. Maybe rolling your shoulders back and down. Let's just start by taking a few cleansing breaths. So breathing in through your nose, belly rising. And as you exhale, opening your mouth, taking a big sigh out, making a sound. One more time, breathing in, belly rising. And like an ocean wave of release, making a tonal sigh out. One more time, breathing in deeply and fully. And exhale, sighing out through your mouth. Just noticing how you feel, just releasing any of that energy we just released. Feeling your breath. Feeling the gentle rising and falling of your belly as you breathe. And for this practice, being aware of your crown chakra, the top of your head. So just kind of feeling into your crown chakra for a moment. Being aware of your root chakra at the base of your body. the base of your spine, connecting you to the earth below, and then being aware of your heart chakra, that center place within where the heavenly and the earthly energies meet. So we'll do this practice 3 times. As you inhale, you'll imagine white light coming from the stars above, from the cosmos, coming into your crown chakra and coming to your heart. And we'll hold our breath, hold that white light in your heart. And as we breathe out, we'll send that white light down our spine, out our root chakra, and into the earth. And then on our next breath, we'll inhale, breathing in that earthly energy, that white light through our root chakra, up our spine, holding in our heart. And as we breathe out, we'll send that earthly energy, that white light, up our spine, out the crown chakra, up into the heavens. So bridging earth and sky. And on our third breath, we'll breathe in, bringing in the white light from above, white light from below, meeting in our heart. And then as we breathe out, we'll send that white light out into a sphere around you. And it might be like a diamond white light. Maybe there's kind of like a rainbow iridescence. Maybe it's a golden light, whatever feels good for you. So we'll do that breath work 3 times. And what it does is it bridges earth and sky. So find your sitting posture. And as you inhale, pull in that cosmic celestial energy through the crown chakra, holding in your heart. And as you breathe out, send that light down your spine, deep into Mama Gaia, that pure white light. And then inhale, breathe in that pure earth light up your root into your heart, holding. And breathing out, sending that light up your spine, out the crown, up into the sky. And breathing in, pulling in the earth and cosmic energy, that light into your heart, holding. And as you exhale, send that light out in a sphere around you. And you can breathe in and out through the nose for this one. And again, inhale, bring in that light through the crown to your heart. Breathing out, sending it down the spine into the earth. And breathing in that light from the earth into your heart. And breathing out, sending it up the spine, out the crown, up into the sky. And then breathing in, breathing in from the earth and the sky, meeting in your heart. Breathing out, sending that light out in a sphere around you. And one more time, breathing in, pulling in that white light from above into your heart. Exhale, sending it below into the earth. And inhaling, breathing in the light from below, holding it in your heart. Breathing it out, sending it up the spine, up into the sky. And then breathing in the light from above and below, meeting in your heart where they merge. And breathing out, sending that white light out in a sphere around you. So just noticing for a moment how it feels to bridge the cosmic and the earthly energies, which are all the same. Feeling your earth-sky connection. That you have parts of yourself that are from the stars. We are all made of stardust. But you have parts of yourself that has lived as other star beings before. And also we're here on the earth. Consciousness living a physical experience, which is such a gift. And when you feel ready, you might find a little movement, like wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe opening your eyes. You might take a big stretch. Arms overhead. I feel like a whole new person. So thank you all so much for sharing that practice. I really feel a connection between all of us after going through that practice. And I wanted to share a little bit about what's kind of going on in the cosmic neighborhood. And I just, want to start with astrology it's the study of cycles. So we know everything in life is cycles. The plants go through their own cycle, the seasons of the year, our bodies, go through our own cycles. Everything is cycles. And so planets are just these larger cycles. And there's the awareness that the movements of the celestial bodies are directly related to what's happening here within our lives. And it's kind of funny because I think I wrote it in the description. I wrote, I'll talk about how the planetary energies are influencing us. And I actually try to get away from the word influencing, like cause and effect, because really, like if you go back to the emerald tablets, Hermes Trismegistus, which is connected to the planet Mercury, and all Western esoteric knowledge really goes back to the emerald tablets. But you've probably heard the saying, as above, so below. That comes from the emerald tablets, and it's what's happening above is directly related to what's happening below, and what's happening below corresponds to above. That it's not one causing the other, but it's all energy. We're all one. And so we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. So what's happening with the planets is directly related to what's happening with us. And so as above, so below, the movement of the planets in the sky is related to what's happening here. You could say both influence the other, not just the planets influencing us. The planets also are living beings, and they're going through their own ascension process just like us. So what we're doing here on Earth is also directly related to their own evolution process. And then, as within, so without. What's happening on our internal world is also happening on the external world, the mirror of our reality. And as the universe, so the soul. So, we are on a collective level, we are on a personal level, on the collective level, it's all related. And so with that understanding that it's all one, it's just energy, it's Jen and I did the holographic sound healing. Everything's a hologram. So we are little holograms of the whole universe, and all the planets live within us. And that's what I really, really love. So when I'm talking about Venus and Mercury and Mars, I'm also talking about your inner Venus, your inner Mercury, your inner Mars. The planets are so alive within us. And that's why I love to get out with the sky and sit with the planets and meditate with them. And my astrology teacher told me, who's an amazing astrologer, he told me, you will learn more about the planets sitting out with them in meditation and communing with them than you will learn reading in books. And I think that's so true, because they really do speak to me. Venus is out in the sky, in the evening sky. She comes out at sunset, the first being you'll see in the sky, other than the moon, although you can't see the moon at sunset right now because she's past her full moon. But you'll see Venus come out first in the western sky, and she's just dazzling and radiant. And she won't be out in the evening sky for very much longer. She's about to go into retrograde in May, and she's going to start a new 1.7 year cycle. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. We'll all be starting a new Venus cycle. I can speak a little bit about that, but go out and be with her in the night sky. She's just, I've had the most amazing time connecting with her. She's been out with the Pleiades. She's moving a little past them, but I love the Pleiades. I know that, I've spent lifetimes living in the Pleiades, and probably many of you all here have as well. Because we're all connected in that way, and probably the star Sirius. And so I just wanted to leave that in with talking about what's kind of going on. We are in the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another cycle, and many cycles that are happening at one time. I think the biggest cycle that is so important, it's so amazing that we're alive at this time. We all came here to be part of this. And many of you here, I'm hearing many kind of light workers saying, I feel like I was born for this. This time right now, I feel like I'm meant to be here, and we might not even know why or what are we going to do. And that's okay. But I think there's this sense of, wow, I came here for this time, and we did. We are in this big turning of the ages. It's actually a 26,000 year cycle, called the Great Year, the Platonic Year. It's the precession of the equinoxes. So moving, there's the Great Years, this 26,000 year cycle, and then they're broken down into 12 smaller, like 2,100 year cycles. So we're moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, and that is all related to astronomically what's called the precession of the equinoxes. It takes 26,000 years. And many astrologers and many, spiritual thinkers think that we're not only moving between, Pisces and Aquarius, we're moving between one 26,000 year cycle to another 26,000 year cycle. I mean, that's very huge. And there's a lot of, there's kind of a lot, it's kind of funny. There's a lot of debate, a lot of opinion on, like, are we in the age of Aquarius, or what date was it exactly? But many astrologers and even, many spiritual thinkers, think that it's a transition period. And that's what I relate to. It's kind of this like 500-year transition period, and we're in it. And, moving into the age of Aquarius, we just had Saturn move into Aquarius with the equinox. And that's pretty huge. And Saturn, he's going to go retrograde not too long from now and move back into Capricorn, but then he'll be in Aquarius for a solid 2.5 years. And Saturn is the planet of integrity. He's the planet of karma. And Saturn is very concerned with our soul's growth. Saturn gets kind of a bad rap in astrology where, the Saturn return, it tends to be a really hard time, like 27 to 30, and then like kind of 57 to 60 roughly. But what Saturn does is Saturn's that part of yourself that evaluates, how am I doing on my soul's path? How am I doing on my life's path? And when we're kind of, meandering off our path, like we all do, we all kind of curve and meander, Saturn kind of kicks us in the butt to bring us back to our path. But Saturn's diligence, discipline, hard work. But Saturn moving into Aquarius is huge because Saturn is connected to space and time. He's connected to being the one that's like rulership over the physical reality. So Saturn grounds, Saturn manifests. Saturn's the planet of manifestation. Jupiter and Saturn are kind of polarity. Jupiter's expansion, blessings, abundance, prosperity. But Jupiter's where our amazing spiritual ideas come from. Like, wow, we had that download on the spiritual realm. And then Saturn brings that download down and in so we can manifest it. And Mercury and Uranus are also connected to spiritual downloads. But so Saturn going into Aquarius is really related to, it's time to manifest some of these, ideas, these visions about living life a different way, humanity being a different way. This is where over the next 2.5 years, we really have the opportunity to manifest a new way of being. We are in, Pluto moved into Capricorn actually in 2008, and that was connected to we had a financial crash in 2008. But Pluto is still in Capricorn. And why that's important is because Pluto is very important to what's happening right now. Pluto is a planet of transformation, death, rebirth, regeneration, transmutation. Pluto's often not an easy planet to work with, and I also mean our inner Pluto, because the metaphorical, the symbolic death part of any cycle is usually not fun. But what it does is it creates space for a new beauty and new life to come in, and that's just kind of a part of life. And as from a societal perspective, we don't as much, and I'm not talking about any one person here, but from a society, we don't really honor the death process, the letting go process. And so this is such a beautiful opportunity to really let that letting go. But what's happening is Capricorn is many things. I mean, Capricorn is just, it's earth, it's yin, it's feminine. Capricorn has a beautiful earth goddess, earth-based wisdom energy to it. Capricorn is also related to our structure. It's the structure of our personal lives, the structure of our society, societal structures, collective structures. And so Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, the traditional ruler. And, so Saturn, we've really been having this change in the structures of our lives. Right now, Capricorn is associated with kind of this like capitalistic culture that we've been living in, which is not really the heart of Capricorn, but that's been something that's socially overlaid with Capricorn. So when Pluto moved in to Capricorn in 2008, Pluto, that's something happening within all of us as well as the collective, kind of was saying, okay, it's time to change some things. We've been living in this very separate way for a long time. As a collective, we've kind of moved away from oneness into this kind of separateness, this capitalistic, competition-based kind of society. And many of us here actually know that that's not the truth, that we are all one and we are all desiring to live in more harmony and balance. So we are the change. We are that beautiful change coming in. So, but then what's happened over the last few years is all that's gotten amped up, this need for change. So Saturn moved into Capricorn in like December 2017 and has been there up until the equinox. And what Saturn was doing, who is the ruler connected to Capricorn, was really starting to get the energy to move, to make some changes, right? And over the last year, we've felt an immense amount of energy. 2019 was not an easy year for a lot of us. In 2020, we're in a challenging time. So what happened was the energy was building up over the last year, and we've had some huge planetary alignments in 2020 already. I mean, we've never seen a year astrologically like it. And so we had we had an eclipse right around Christmas, and then we had an eclipse January 10th. Eclipses are fate; they are destiny, things happening. But then on January 12th, we had this huge Saturn-Pluto conjunction, Saturn and Pluto coming together in Capricorn. What that was doing is, we felt the energy for half a year, and we're going to feel the energy for another year, half a year for sure, because Saturn is going to be moving retrograde. But what that was Pluto's transformation. Saturn is concerned with, karma and integrity and moving us on our path. And what that was creating was this like major energy to create some change. I mean, alchemically, we are in a breakdown, purification process. I love alchemy. Alchemy is connected to astrology. They were one and the same at one point. And so you've probably heard of like turning lead into gold, the sorcerer's stone in alchemy. What you have to do in alchemy is you break something has to break down to transform it. So you break the lead down into its base elements, the prima materia, and then so everything breaks down, and then you recombine them into a purified higher form. We're in that kind of breakdown purification process. And what it's doing is it feels not great. But what it's doing is it's creating this new transformation to transform, to alchemize things into a purified higher form. And that's the age of Aquarius. All of this is related to it. The age of Aquarius is returning back to this idea of oneness, living in more harmony and balance with all beings, knowing that I'm no different than you and all the animals and the birds and the bees and the bugs and the soil and the rocks and the water and the planets above, that we're all one. And so this age of Aquarius also connected to, the return of the goddess, the priestess, and, just living in a way with more balance and harmony and respect and love, caring for the earth in a better way. We are in this transition process to move back to that. And we're all part of it. Each individual person, I say, when we do the work for the one, we do the work for the many. So when we do the work on ourselves, we're doing it for the many. And we are all part of it. It's happening because of us. We're at a critical energy point, and everything's energy, even the planetary energies, it's just energy. And we get to choose how we relate to that energy. So it is very important that we're all waking up to our path and living our path, and having the courage it takes to live our path, because we are in this critical energy point of the energy can go in different ways. It will eventually swing back to this beautiful Aquarian age, this golden age, but how quickly and how smoothly it does, that's where we all have an opportunity to, as an individual, really just live our path. And that can look different ways. And it's also important to honor, we don't have to like do it all today. We are in the slow down phase, and that's okay to honor the slow down phase. If you, feeling like, oh, I just need to retreat and rest and dream and meditate and do art, if that's what feels right to you right now, then do that. There's not a pressure to, do our whole path today. Mama Gaia is kind of giving us a timeout right now. I heard another astrologer say that she's giving us a timeout, and what's happening is the earth is healing herself while we're all kind of timing out right now. And she's regenerating. And the lunar nodes the lunar nodes have been in Capricorn and Cancer over the last year and a half. The nodes are, so if you think about, they're not planets, but there's the earth, and the moon's orbiting around the earth, kind of think like a hula hoop. And then there's the ecliptic in the sky, the path of the planets, the apparent path of the planets, and the sun moving around the sky. They're two hula hoops. And if you think of two hula hoops that are crossing, they're going to cross in 2 points. Those are the lunar nodes. And they're, it would take, they're very, there's a lot we could get into, but essentially the North Node is about, from a Western astrology perspective, our future, our destiny, where we're moving towards. And the South Node is about past lives, letting go. So the North Node for the last year and a half has been moving through Cancer, which is, the feminine, the goddess, the maternal energy, the mother energy. We've seen so much. And then Capricorn, the South Node's been going through Capricorn. They're always 180 degrees apart. That's been kind of, we've really seen a big, over the last year and a half, this need to, the kind of the way the patriarchal kind of culture that we've been living in is not going to work for us anymore. And we won't, we're not okay with that. And we've seen this huge, this divine feminine rising over the last year and a half that's very connected to the North Node going through Cancer. And I don't think it's, one being above the other, the divine feminine being above the masculine being above the feminine. I think what we're moving towards is a merging, a balancing, that it's both. We all have the divine feminine, we all have the divine masculine, and to live in harmony and balance with all beings and the earth and the sky, we need to have a balance of that within us. So that's been happening. But the nodes are actually, so there's 30 degrees in a sign, the nodes move backwards. So the nodes are at 1 degree Cancer and Capricorn right now. They're moving to Gemini and Sagittarius. We're going to be moving to a whole collective new cycle then. But, it's funny, Cancer is the sign of the home, the mother. And what are we doing when the nodes are like about to move out? In some sense, this is a very critical point for the lunar nodes. We're all back home. We're doing the Cancer thing. We're being at home. A lot of mamas are having a chance to spend a lot more time with their children. And I think this is a really beautiful thing. One other thing I did want to mention was, so we had Saturn and Pluto coming together in January, and that's just creating an immense amount of transformation. Pluto is also connected to our shadow. So Pluto is the deepest part of ourself that wants to become conscious and evolve. And so we are in this kind of a lot of collective shadows coming out. We're seeing a lot of shadow coming out. And it is important that we're doing our own shadow work. We all have a shadow, and what that means is it's just parts of ourself that have been pushed down out of our conscious awareness into our unconscious. And those parts of ourselves end up driving our behavior and our emotions and even our thought processes without even knowing it. And so it's important to do the work to make what's unconscious conscious. And not like, I don't mean shadow as in a bad way, but like, for example, if you receive messages from your parents growing up, and not that they meant to do harm, but like, it's not okay to be mad, then like being mad gets pushed into the shadow. And then what happens is, we might suppress being mad, suppress it. And then, it's usually like a loved one triggers us and it's like kaboom, So it's so important that we're doing our shadow work, and that is helping the collective by doing our own shadow work. Just becoming conscious of what's unconscious. It's that's simple. But also we had, last 2 Saturdays ago, I'm like all mixed up on the time now, but it was April 4th. That was my birthday. We had Jupiter coming into conjunction with Pluto. And that's like huge too. I mean, Jupiter is a planet of spiritual expansion. Pluto is a planet of transformation. So there's this huge, there's just a ton of spiritual expansion to transform. And also Jupiter accelerates things, speeds them up, magnifies them. And so we're actually in this very sped up process to transform. And that's where, we all feel that it's like everything's changing so quickly with the, when kind of all of this started happening with, I try not to give the virus a lot of energy, honestly, with talking about it, but it is here and it's important. But like when everything with the coronavirus really started amping up, it happened with, we had a full moon in Virgo, March 9th. Like that's when a lot of this woe started speeding up. Virgo is the sign of health. And so the moon was in Virgo, sun was in Pisces. Pisces is the sign of oneness. Pisces is a beautiful sign. It's being connected to the dream realm and the etheric realm. And I have a lot of Pisces energy. I love it. We're compassionate and empathic and creative. But with that moon, that full moon we had, Mercury was with the sun. And then also Neptune was there too. That's a lot of, Pisces can be connected to kind of things going viral as well. And so we saw with that full moon, moon in Virgo, the health sign, Neptune, everything dissolves into oneness. Mercury there, we're just inundated with news. Mercury's information, communication. We were inundated with so much news, and it's hard to tell what news is real, what news is fake. All of that was connected to that full moon. And then we had Mars right after that, like the next week and a half, we had Mars starting to make connection with Jupiter, kind of intensifying that. And then Pluto, and then Mars came into conjunction with Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And so, Mars really kind of activated and amped up everything. And while all that was happening, it was between March 9th and March 19th, March 21st. That's when all of our lives changed very quickly. And it was really with that Mars. I mean, I saw right after that out of that full moon with Virgo on March 9th, I started to see, I was like, oh boy, Mars is going to go to Jupiter, then Pluto, and then Saturn. It was like, hold on to your hats because things are about to ramp up really quickly. Mars, martial law, things getting enforced, and, not making a judgment as good or bad. But as an unbiased perspective, we really saw a lot of those things changing. Like when Mars came to conjunction with Saturn, Mars being like enforcement and Saturn rules and laws, like that day was like, I know when Dallas County did the official shutdown. So that was very interesting. And, I'm not making a judgment whether that was good or bad, just kind of watching the planetary movements and what's happening. It's just so interesting how it is all connected. But ultimately, all of this is just really helping us to wake up to our truth, our inner power. Capricorn and Pluto have so much to do with power. So really reclaiming our own power and waking up to we are all magical, creative beings. We create our reality. And really, that this is all getting us to wake up to that. And we are, we're ending one cycle. The way we've, as a collective, have lived, as a society, there's just no way we could sustain living that way, the way we've treated the earth, the animals, one another. There's a lot of oppression, there's a lot of social injustice. We can't go on like that. So it's time to move back towards a way of connecting to love and loving all beings and treating all beings like they are ourselves from a place of love. Heart chakra, Aquarius is an ascended sign. It's Aquarius, the energy, you're up in the sky, and you can see everything is connected because you have a bird eye or an angelic view up in the sky. And when you see how everything's connected, I'm not alone. It's not just me. I'm not separate. I am connected. So we're moving back to that. And Venus is about to start a new cycle. And that's a beautiful opportunity to connect to your feminine wisdom. It's kind of funny. I have Venus in Gemini, conjunct the Pleiades. And, Venus or Gemini is a sign of loving to learn and talk and take in as much information as possible. But my message that's been for me with Venus and the Pleiades, when I sat out and connected with her, the message was to get still, to get quiet. I was having so much inundation, there's so much amazing stuff. People are offering so many amazing things via Zoom and webinars, and I want to do it all. I love it all. But I was feeling overwhelmed. But that part of myself was like, oh, I need to learn as much as possible right now. But Venus told me, get still, get quiet. And what I realized was because Gemini is connected to wisdom and knowledge. It's to connect to the feminine wisdom. Feminine wisdom, we already contain, we have all the feminine wisdom we need within ourselves. It doesn't come from an outside source. And we connect to that wisdom in the quiet, through our intuition, dreams, art, dancing, being in nature. When we get still and quiet, we can realize we have everything we need to know within ourselves. All the information we need is already within us. And that's the feminine knowing. And this is the time to really honor that feminine knowing, to honor that we already know everything. We have every tool within us, and we will know what to do in every moment if we can really connect to that feminine aspect. And I think that's really important for rebalancing back the feminine and masculine energy. So I could go on so much more. I hope it made sense. I don't know how much astrological information everybody has, but really the main thing is just that we are in a breakdown. And there is a lot of, along with symbolic death, there is a lot of actual death, and a lot of souls are choosing to leave this plane at this time. And it's really helped me to connect. I've done a lot of shamanic work. That death it's a transfer of energy, and that really helped me to really have a better relationship to the fact that I will die sometime. I've spent many lives in other places, and it is a transfer of energy, and that it's not the ending of life. It's just the beginning of a new cycle. And so we are in this breakdown, this letting go, this death process. And it's going to create new birth, regeneration, transformation. It's going to create a new, beautiful way of being. But, we're just navigating these murky waters right now. And so, yeah, Mercury just moved into Aries. I guess Mercury's like, hello, talk about me, because I just said Mercury on accident. Mercury had been in Pisces since like February and went into retrograde. And I have Mercury in Pisces natally. Like Mercury was in Pisces when I was born, and I love it. There's so many gifts to it, but also it does make things, because Mercury in Pisces, everything is so like subjective and like one, and it can be a little harder to think clearly when Mercury is in Pisces, because we are so connected to beyond the veil. And then Neptune, there, was there too. But now that Mercury's in Aries, he moved there a few days ago, and Mercury moves quick. But I think we're going to be able to have a little more clarity. Things are going to make more sense. We'll have more clarity on what's best for me, what's best for my family, what's best for my path, where we may have been a little just feeling a little confused. I don't know what's what. There's conflicting information. I think we're going to be able to find clarity for ourselves much easier. So if it's still okay, and it just, it's a really short meditation, just a few minutes. If Jennifer, if we still have time where I can help connect us to the planets within.
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. Because they are all within us. And the magic of knowing, of having a relationship and activated planets within is we become co-creators with the cosmos. That really, it just allows us to create life and live life more magically and to more consciously create our reality, because Mercury does teach us our thoughts create our reality. The Hermetic principles come from Mercury. A great area to study if you're not familiar with it, because that's what allows us to really create magic and manifest and create our reality. So I'll jump into it. So just again, kind of find that comfortable sitting posture, maybe closing your eyes and feeling your breath, feeling your prana moving in and out. Just being aware of the earth below you, that you are the earth, you are Mama Gaia. And being aware of the sky above you, that you also are the planets. And just inviting all of the planets that are already within you to connect to them, to activate them. So first calling in the sun. The sun is our life force energy. The sun is where we want to shine in this world. And just with your intention, inviting the sun to illuminate within you. You might imagine yourself lighting up with the golden rays of the sun. You might even just say a mantra. I am illumination, or I am radiant light. And then inviting in the moon, your lunar nature. So opening up that aspect of yourself. The moon is the feminine, the soft, the intuitive aspect of ourselves. She allows us to be connected to the dream realm, the creativity. So just inviting her, you might imagine yourself glowing with the soft, white, silvery light of the moon. A great mantra is I am creative. I am flowing. I am feminine. And then inviting in Mercury within you to open up. So Mercury is the way our mind processes information, the way we think, the way we communicate. A great mantra is I am clear. I have clarity. I communicate my truth. And then inviting in Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and harmony. The feminine goddess. So opening up the Venus within you, inviting her to be present. Venus is love, connected to the heart chakra. A lot of the goddess wisdom we can learn from Venus. Some great mantras. I am love. I am connected to my feminine wisdom. I am harmony. I am beauty. And then inviting in Mars. So the polarity of Venus, the divine masculine aspect of ourselves. So inviting in Mars. Mars is the aspect of ourself that goes and gets what we want in life, that takes action and initiation. Kind of our inner Venus desires things, and our inner Mars goes and gets them. Venus attracts, Mars goes out and gets what we want. So, some beautiful kind of mantras for Mars are, I can exert my energy to create my reality. I am passionate. I am alive. Those are great Mars mantras. Knowing that you can create your reality, you can take the right action at the right time, that your feminine inner knowing will tell you when it's the right time, and that Martian aspect of yourself will, take the action and put out the energy at the right time to make it all come together. And then inviting in your inner Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of spiritual expansion. Jupiter is always wanting us to connect to our highest truth. Jupiter is a planet of abundance and prosperity and blessings, synchronicity, the right thing happening at the right time. So some great mantras are, I am abundant. I am truth. Just feeling that inner expansion, that inner expansiveness. Jupiter is that aspect of ourself that's always seeking spiritual expansion. Maybe feeling your energy expand a bit. And then connecting in to your inner Saturn, that like wise elder aspect of yourself, that diligent, disciplined, hardworking aspect of yourself. The aspect of yourself that grounds in, wild, electric, beautiful inspirations that come from above and bringing them down into the physical reality. So I am a manifester. I am powerful at manifesting. I mean, those are great, Saturn. I am diligent. I am disciplined. Saturn has to do with mastery, so how we can master what our path is. I mean, Saturn is so connected to self-mastery, so I am connected to self-mastery. That's a beautiful Saturn mantra. And then Uranus, moving beyond the visible planets. Uranus has been in Taurus, which has been really important. I didn't touch on that, but that's been super important. But Uranus is that part of ourself that's like wild electric truth. It's spiritual truth that comes in the flash of lightning. So Uranus is that aspect of ourself that has like innovative ideas, wild inspiration, creative new ideas. So, beautiful mantra for Uranus is like, I am connected to truth. I am connected to new and innovative ideas. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus is so related to moving into the Aquarian age. And then moving into Neptune. Neptune is oneness, the planet of dissolving boundaries, where everything dissolves back into one. Neptune is related to the dream realm, the etheric realm, beyond the veil. So just feeling your inner Neptune, inviting that in. I am I am one. I am connected to everyone and everything. I am divine love. Neptune, Venus is personal love. Neptune is divine love, cosmic love. Just inviting that in. And then Pluto. So Pluto is a planet of transformation, death, rebirth, regeneration, these beautiful cycles that bring us into new dances, new spirals in life. So, you know, I I am I am regeneration. I am transformation. I am moving into a new beautiful phase of my life. I am moving into a new creative phase of my life, whatever resonates with you. And then I also want to invite in Chiron. Chiron is so important to what's happening as well, kind of an asteroid and the healer archetype. So inviting in that healer. Chiron represents the sacred soul wound we all have. And our life's journey is to alchemize that soul wound into medicine that we can share with others. So, I share my sacred medicine. That's a beautiful mantra for Chiron. So just feeling all of these planets alive within you. That you contain the entire universe within you. Just taking a few more breaths in this space. And maybe kind of wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes, and you might open your eyes and take a big stretch. And oh my gosh, I totally lost track of the time, so I'm so sorry, Jennifer.
Not at all. That was lovely and perfect and amazing.
Good.
And we're not on any time crunch. I mean,
Okay, good.
it's all perfect. I'd love to just open up if anyone has any questions for Jamie in the chat. And that was such a beautiful meditation that I hope you guys go back and listen to that. I just had so many awarenesses I won't go into right now, but I've never done like activating and connecting with all those planets in one. There was just so much balance and harmony in that. It was just beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And I do think it's so important to remember, because some planets kind of get like, Saturn sometimes gets like a bad rap, but all the planets are loving. They all are concerned with our soul's growth. So it's so great to be connected to all of them.
And I just love the way it's like some of the themes that you touched on today, like I've had awarenesses of, and it was so nice to just kind of see how that is playing out at that, universal level, where it's happening at the global level. And, I think just a couple of themes I'd love to just reiterate for everyone's takeaway, to do the inner work, the inner shadow work, because that's been so prevalent, and to just really utilize this time as a reset. And as you said, to transform our unconsciousness into consciousness. And I love the way you said that, because that just feels like that's that space of alchemy that is so readily available for us right now. And to know that we're so supported by the planets and the stars to do this work. And it just feels so organically like we're held to do that, and I've been having conversations with, other colleagues and light workers who are just, aware of very similar things, and all kind of having these different perspectives. And I just felt like you had such a beautiful way of kind of, creating this whole really broad perspective, and to see how that is aligned. It was just really cool. So let's see. We do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So Lisa's asking, do you see any indication on when this period of shift will end and the transformation will be realized?
Yeah. So as far as this kind of what's happening with the coronavirus, the shelter in place, It first started to come up. It was actually before that Virgo full moon. When we first started seeing in the news in other countries, like in China, it was with the eclipse, the solar eclipse we had on Christmas. And it was actually a little before, but it happened very close. When something like this on a global level happens with an eclipse, it tends to hang around with us until the next eclipse because eclipses are faded karmic times. So that would be about the next eclipse, which is, around it's around the summer solstice. Now, I don't think we'll necessarily be sheltering in place that whole time, but we're going to have some rebound effects because our lives have been so uprooted. Now, I think what I personally think, part of Uranus is so involved in this, and Uranus makes it very hard to predict things accurately because Uranus is a wild card. And we all knew in astrology, we were saying, I mean, I was writing about it, something big was going to happen, but being able to pinpoint it, I don't think any of us were expecting exactly like this. So, I think some people had good prophecies and things, but Uranus is so involved that there is a wild card that it makes it a little bit hard. And I think part of it is it's how we're all responding energetically, because I think we're at this timelines merging, timelines splitting. And if enough people are waking up, we can actually accelerate this and things can go a lot smoother and more harmoniously. But from an astrological perspective, and I don't want to say I think things will be consistently challenging things. It's actually, it hasn't been consistently challenging since Pluto moved into Capricorn. We had that like financial crash in 2008. And then things got better. But Pluto will be in Capricorn until 2024. And I think when Capricorn moves into Aquarius in 2024, we're going to experience, like with Saturn moving into Aquarius, that's when it's like, okay, we're really going to be moving into some more of this Aquarian age and feeling it. So I don't want to say that things are going to be like this until then, because everything's always shifting, always flowing. I think about the summer when we have the eclipses. I think that's when we'll kind of feel like we're able to move past what's happening right now, because now it sounds like, I don't know how long the shelter in place is going to be continuing. At first it was the end of April. I don't know if it's going to be continuing longer, but so we're going to feel that the rebound effects probably until about then. And just knowing that's been so empowering for me, because like when all of my work, I teach a lot of yoga, meditation, and I do a lot of in-person events in the Dallas area. When all those got canceled, I initially had this like panic, like, oh my gosh, my life is falling apart. Where's my income going to come from? And I did have that initial, and I think that is so important to be with your emotions. But I feel like I processed through it really quickly, because I kind of knew, okay, this is a cycle. I know I'm being divinely guided, and that helped me really quickly adjust and navigate and to shift things online. And that knowledge has helped me from just being totally shut down and stuck to be able to, okay, let me just kind of connect. What is my intuition telling me? What am I being divinely guided to do? Taking some risks, doing some new things. And it's just been so helpful. So I don't know if that answered your question. I'm sorry. And some people do say the Kali Yuga ends in 2024 as well. So that does align with Pluto, and then moving into a new Yuga, a new great age, one of, more harmony and balance.
Well, and you said this earlier, and you just did reiterate that it is an opportunity for us. And I don't know if I shared this last time, but I don't know where I heard this in a meditation or something, but just for us to be utilizing this opportunity. And I even heard the words like, don't squander this, squander this. And I think that as we are drawn more within, in our space, in our retreat and in our reset, like that's going to, we have, because we're very powerful, energetic beings, right, in communion with all that is. And to what Jamie mentioned earlier, we're not being influenced by, it's a communion like we can co-create, right? We can co-create with the universe. And so that's just such an empowering message. And for us to acknowledge, like, oh, I'm a contributor. I'm not a cog in the wheel. Like, I am rippling out. And it's so important to hear these messages and these different perspectives, so that we can remember and to apply it. And I just want to quickly, I just drew a couple cards before we got on our call today, and you guys are going to laugh so hard. So the first one was the universe, and I don't know if you can see the words.
That.
I know. And so if you can see it, it says it's about Metatron. It's this wholeness, commune all with life, microcosm, macrocosm. And the microcosm, macrocosm is just another way to explain what Jamie was talking about in the beginning, as above, so below, right? And I think that the meditations that you did today are so important to bring that balance of that macrocosm, microcosm, as above, so below, so that we can stay in those higher perspectives. So that when we do have our freak out moments, like Jamie just mentioned, her whole business kind of just shuts down, then we can get out of that microcosm, right? This micro place, and we can tap in outside, which helps us to elevate and be able to perceive ourselves and everything from that higher perspective. So if you guys even just kind of go back and listen to this, again, just to really integrate these higher perspectives that are available. And then we can operate from that perspective, not from this kind of contracted, if you're still watching the news or whatever perspective. So I just thought that was so appropriate.
I love it. So perfect.
Talking about the Hermes, about the as above, so below, I was like, oh yeah. And then the other one I chose is, randomly, by the way, of course, is creation. And you can even see the similarity in the energy of these cards, because as Jamie mentioned, like, we are co-creating with the stars, the planets, the solar system, the galaxies, and the universe. And this one talks about flow of creation and joyfulness. And I just want to close on that word joyfulness, because when we talk about this whole experience being an inner work, an inner experience, like, we can change the planet through finding that inner joy, that inner child joy. my cat's agreeing. He's like, I want part of this. And I've heard from some people in regards to, like, I feel so bad of what's happening around me. And yeah, like, we can have compassion, because, people are experiencing hardships every single day, not just in this realm, but when we give our energy into, like, feeling guilty or feeling bad, that dims our light. And so still having kindness and compassion, and being able to know that we're all connected, as people are, having traumatic and suffering and transitioning experiences, and yet still go back to the inner joy of what lights you up, because that's what's going to get us over this place that we're in. That's what's going to get us to the other side. And I really believe that we can expedite that process with our own inner journey and inner communion with ourselves. So I just love the way you shared that, Jamie. And would you please share on how everyone can get in touch with you for their own personal astrology reading, which, by the way, is amazing and very insightful.
Yeah, so my website is astrologywithjaime.com. I'll just type it in the chat so you can have it. And it's JAIME, astrologywithjaime.com. And then I'm on Facebook, Intuitive Astrology with Jaime, and Instagram, Astrology with Jaime. I make it challenging. I think if you just go to my website, it has the links to all the social media. But I'll type it into the chat with Jaime.com. So if you want to find that, and I'm on Facebook. Most of, like, my Facebook, I don't do a lot with my website, to be honest. Facebook is where I do pretty much everything, and that's just like intuitive astrology with Jaime, Jaime. And I do little posts on like what's happening with the planets, and I love to do, I love to give, natal chart readings. And when we're back, maybe Jennifer, maybe we talked about collaborating, bringing my planetary gongs over to where you're at and doing something fun. So we'll have to do something like that to celebrate when we can all be together again.
Yes. I had to bring my bowls. Let's see if I can move. I had to bring my bowls home with me.
Oh, beautiful.
I was like, what? They have to be here.
I know. I wish I had mine because I'm in Oregon, and I never thought this would happen this long. I came to Oregon when all this started happening. I thought, I'd be back in Dallas already, so I didn't bring all my gongs and singing bowls with me. And I'm like, I'm missing. I have a real relationship with them. I'm like, I'm missing my babies.
No, I felt the
I
same
missed
way.
the first part, Jen. Jen, it's Darlene. I missed the first part of the thing. I was late. Hey, Jaime. I just want to say how much knowledge and how much information I got from Jaime. I had a reading with her a couple of months ago, and it totally shifted a lot of my female and masculine energies, and it gave me an understanding, because apparently I have a lot of Gemini. So it gave me a lot of understanding of why I am the way I am, and kind of, it's okay. If it was so in depth and just so amazing, I just can't even put words to it. So I encourage anyone that is interested to get in touch with Jaime, because it's very, very beneficial what she has to offer.
Oh, thank you so much. And just finding me, my personal Facebook page is Jaime Lee. You can find me on there. That's usually the easiest way to get into contact with me.
Awesome.
So I love that I met you both, Darlene and Jennifer. And I think everybody here, we're all like soul tribe, soul family. So it's so nice to connect in this way.
Yeah. And again, like, just thank you for showing up in your purity and integrity. I did pull one more card, and I think it's you. It says Crystal Child.
Oh, I love that.
It says pure, innocent, removing falsehood and seer. So I feel the purity in I don't even, like, integrity doesn't even feel right. Just the purity of what you share in that heartfelt expression, just without any ego attached to it. So thank you for bringing that through.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored.
Well, let's I'm just going to close with just a brief light language. I like to kind of just bring through the energy of integration based on what you have brought through, to just assist everyone in assimilating that balance energy with the as above so below, and perhaps this kind of newfound connection with your inner planets. And then just whatever else energy wants to come through, just to kind of close up our circle today. So just for the next few moments, we won't go that long. Just go ahead and close your eyes and drop your awareness into your body. And we're just going to open to receive whatever energies and frequencies would be optimal for us as a group at this time, and for all others who connect with this recording. If you do have any special intentions that you'd like to hold for yourself right now, maybe you're in a space of struggle, or you have something that you're wanting to create in your life, go ahead and just bring that into your awareness. And we're going to put that into the energy of this as well. And then once you do that, just let it go and open back to receiving. Hakore esonia oro sotare e na asho kwana asa kiani ere moro kubare setiare oro kuari etiki. Hane ere elolo sotalea nere sotakaya nero somara shotoria taria da korkuiani asokua. Ana a ora sakwane mere sotoria shotoro kikiani. E karo oro sotoleana moro uara sa. Anere sotoleanara sotono moro kuianere sotoniare atikiano ua. Hamare sotayane ele korokuara sotariane sotoniane mara sota para shikia yanoku. Coleto sotaleane mere satayane e shotayane mere sitiki. And I'm just hearing it's time to let your heart be seen. Time to allow your heart to shine and just opening up the purity of that. Kopara sotorianere sotoriana satorianemere sotokopara shotokua satekia sotoki. Kele ora satayanemere sotoma ara shotoriana sotorianekiane elokua. Yanalelo sotayaneme soparia sotayakoaria nere shotoki kiani. Upara sotonomara satayane. Kopara sotonia, komara sotoni ketono korwa. Just taking a few breaths to let all the energies that have been shared with you today settle in, connecting back into the earth, connecting up into the cosmos and expanding that. Meeting all that into your heart space as Jamie led us earlier, and just expanding that around you and your body, all as one. And thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much, Jamie, for being here. Again, I hope you guys reach out to her and experience this personal gift of her readings because they are truly magical, as is she.
Oh, well, thank you. And as are you and everyone here. I'm just so grateful to be here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for coming.